stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown 6060 cycle. Who those hits around, bound to go to the black. Welcome to another exciting, no, not another, a very exciting episode of Wine Down with Kev. Thank you, you for tuning in, whether you're watching the live stream on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Thank you. Special thanks to all of you that have already hit the subscribe and the notification button. You are appreciated. We couldn't do it without you. Speaking of not being able to do it without you, thank you to my sponsors who'll be popping up on the screen behind me. First, Carol Media, all things social media. If you're trying to pick your social media game up, look no further than Carol Media. And secondly, my digital sponsor that I recommend, if you're looking to make life easier for your current clients, your prospects, please reach out to Canopy Connect. They've got some digital tools that make life really easy. And finally, my last sponsor, nothing good happens without money. Please talk to Wintrust Financial. That being said, super excited on our journey of doing 50 podcasts with 50 agents from 50 states. Today, we take you to a place that I've never been before, but excited for the agent that we're talking to and the lead member of his team that's going to be on the podcast with us today. Today, we go to the great state of Washington, where we will talk to one of the largest, if not the largest, Allstate agent in the country. And we'll also be talking to his right hand, the director of his coaching company. So without further ado, any delay, any dragging it out, usually I talk about awards. That would be boring because he's won all of them. Sometimes I talk about community involvement. He gives a lot to the community. There is no more, no higher awards, and no two people that are impacting more people in the company, in the country, than my next two guests. So please put your hands together and give a warm Wine Down with Kev welcome to Jeremy Olson and Kristin Kasel.
Gosh, I need some popcorn for this, Kevin.
Good stuff. So let me open with a little bit of humility. I went live today, Jeremy, as you know, and I mistakenly said I was traveling to Oregon today, but you guys are in the great state of Washington. So how is life in Washington today? How's the weather? How's all the good stuff?
Oh, weather's good. No, and I love that. True story. Right when I saw that, I text Kevin and I said, did somebody move me to Oregon and not tell me? He was quick to reply. But no, the weather here is good. We are probably 60 degrees gray. But hey, May gray brings June sunshine. It is about to get incredible in Seattle. We have amazing summers.
Wow, he sounds like a weather forecaster.
Oh, well.
It's crazy.
Kristin, do you have a different perspective on the weather today? When it's a gray day, it can go either way. What's your thoughts today?
On the weather? I think
Just that life in Washington today. You can go wherever you want to go.
Washington, man. I mean, Washington's I'm just going to say it, like, my heart is in Washington. I've been to a lot of states. Washington is the best state to be. You get everything. You get water. You get the mountains. You get snow. You can have the desert. You can have it all here. So, like, I love Washington, but the most fun part of Washington to me is just being outside and being by the water.
I love it. So with that segue, if we were doing this in person in Washington today, where would we be eating at? What local restaurant would we go to have the best food? I'm in Seattle for one day. Where do we have to go?
Oh, man. Well, for sure, Kevin, we would be at a place called Cielo. It's about 300 feet behind me. Best Mexican restaurant in Bellevue. I eat there maybe 6 nights a week.
I have no argument, but Kristin seems to have a different opinion.
I just think that's funny. He does eat a lot of Mexican food, like everybody knows. Like if we're stumped, we just do Mexican or pizza for Jeremy. He's pretty simple with his food.
I had to settle for taco time this afternoon.
But
gosh.
Yeah, they have good.
Kristin, if he asks you to set up the lunch, where are we going? I got a strong feeling that would be your first choice.
I would probably take you down to Pike Place Market for sure and have lunch. I would probably eat my way through Pike Place Market with you. There's so many like good little like bites kind of places. So I would do that. If we had to just have one place to go, I would go down to Seattle to the Water and Pike Place Market while Jeremy ate at Cielo.
I love it. That's giving me sleepless in Seattle.
Have you been to Seattle, Kevin? Or
I have not. All I know about Washington is my dad served in World War II, and part of his journey went through Washington, and he went to Europe through Washington. So that's all that I know. So I'm overdue for a trip.
Yeah, we've got a few empty desks with your name on it. Love to have you visit.
Well, I think I've been to your office in my mind. You have the most awesome recruiting videos in the world. I love what you've done there in that space. So let's start there with the recruiting videos that you have that I think is very effective in getting people to have the digital attraction to work in your agency. How did that video come about?
Yeah, I think, I do a lot of videos because I'm not, as many of you know, don't love stages. So I've had to kind of get used to making videos throughout my whole life. And we've got a very big hiring goal this year. We want to hire 35 people by the end of the year. And to me, there's nothing more important than attracting the right prospects, the right recruits that, take a look at a video. They're like, man, I would like to work there versus just seeing it on an ad. I thought that would really differentiate us. So we called the camera guy, said, get in here, let's make a video. And I think we've hired 9 people in the past 2 weeks. It absolutely does wonders.
Shout out to the camera guy and the power of digital marketing. In this age and time where we're all spending more time than we care to admit, scrolling on our phones, looking at videos, how impactful is that for someone to look at a video of a potential employer and say, hey, that looks like a cool place to work?
I think it's super impactful because a lot of people, especially when they're looking for roles in sales, look at the job ad and they don't know if it's real or not. There's a lot of sales jobs out there that are quote unquote what they think are scams. And it puts a face to the job ad, and you can see that it's a very legitimate business, that we've put a lot of intention into making that video and making it very personal so that they can get, a flavor of what our culture is. But I do think it just takes us to the next level, and we want to get those next level people. And it makes a huge difference. Yeah,
and one of the things that we intentionally did in the video was showcase a lot of our team members who are just awesome. And we centered it around one of the things that, like Kristin mentioned, is super important is our culture. We live and die by 5 core values that we have. So we took that opportunity in the video to highlight those 5 core values. And so it just helps us attract the right people. By the time they watch the video, they get to us. They know what we stand for. They know what they're going to be held accountable to. So really helps us sift through some of the other people that might have applied.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and share those values for anyone watching the live stream or whether they're listening to it on a podcast a year from now. What are those core values that's important that people fit into to be a part of your agency?
So positive mindset. I always tell people when they're getting hired here that if you see somebody negative on our team, it stands out like a sore thumb because we really do lead with positive. Coachable. We have a coaching company because we do coaching in our agency every single day. And it is really important for us to have people that are coachable. They would just never survive here because it's a big part of how we are successful. Customer focus. That was one thing that attracted me to this company. I remember when Jeremy wanted to hire me, he shared his vision with me. And a part of his vision was that he wanted to be the Nordstrom of insurance. And that was very appealing to me because I always think of Nordstrom as having that customer focus. And then we have team player because everybody has to have each other's back. When you have a big team, it's so important no matter what, but it is really hard to achieve with a big team. And so we talk about that often and do a lot of team building to ensure that that happens. And then the last one, and I would say is probably Jeremy's favorite, is self-driven.
Absolutely.
And that is just that piece where we want people to come in. We want them to think for themselves. We want them to really look at this business as part of their business. I mean, in insurance, you can make a great living as a sales producer. And you also get to know your prospects as customers. And people really like you, and they can call you back and give you referrals and do all of that. And so we want people to really build, that kind of relationship with their customers.
Well, and it's funny, Kevin, how those core values came about. We started EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System, our own business coach, probably 5-6 years ago. Flew down to Houston to meet with Lori, our new coach, never had met her, with Kristin and Cameron. And that was the first exercise she put us through, was we're going to come up with core values for your agency. And I looked at Cameron and Kristin and I said, call me when you guys are done. I'll be down the street. Because to me, that was never,
it was fluff.
I'm not a super structured guy.
Right.
I've learned to become one now with a bigger agency. But yeah, to me, that was something like, just tell them to go sell insurance. Why do we need all this stuff? And now I look back on that, and what a huge difference establishing core values has made in my agency. It's not only the hiring, bringing new people on, it's how we interact with our team members that are already with us every single day. So if Kristin's having a coaching conversation, if I'm having a capacity conversation with a team member, it always goes back to those 5 core values, and we bring them into our day-to-day conversations as well as our quarterly and annual reviews. So it just ensures that everybody on the team is speaking the same language. Everybody on the team is operating the same way. It's made a huge difference. If you don't have core values in your agency, get them. It's a very easy process to do. We would recommend probably 4 to 6 core values. It will change your agency for sure.
Hey, DJ, what's up? I'm in the middle of recording the podcast.
I know, man.
No. Yeah. So, this guy, we want to talk about something different. He's trying to get his website and his Google My Business page going.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody knows you helped me to get to the 2 Comma Club, and be seen by a couple of million people. But this person wants to do something different. They're trying to run ads to their book of business, their model line campaigns and stuff like that.
I know, Kev.
Oh, man. Well, DJ, talk to the people, man, so I can get back to the podcast. How can you help?
Yeah, man. So listen, I can help you by running monoline ads to your auto, your home, as well as optimizing your website, your Google business profile, and your social media outlets. We can do the exact same thing we've done for Kevin over the years and get you in front of millions of sets of eyeballs to help you grow your business. Contact Carroll Media today. Kev, let them know.
DJ, I appreciate you jumping in the podcast. Hit up Carroll Media. DJ, I got to go. I got to get back to the podcast.
I know.
I love it, Jeremy. And I love that you dove in with the why. And I love you sharing your honest perspective that when you first looked at it, maybe it sounded like corporate speak. And that's something that people on the inside of the companies that don't have real work to do, they, lose 2 hours in meetings. But good for you to come around. Would you say that's equally as important for the brand new agent that's starting out, that doesn't have a big team, to have strong core values so they can both not only recruit, but retain the right people as well?
Oh man, I would say if I knew about core values and structure when I started back in 1997, I'd be even bigger than I am right now. Absolutely crucial to start with the foundation of hiring that right person that fits into your culture.
I love it. Well, one thing I like to do on all the podcasts that I do is backstory. I like to know how people got to where they are. So Jeremy, I'm going to start with you and then Kristin, because both of you have phenomenal backstories. Jeremy, are you second generation or third generation?
Third generation. Yeah. My grandfather was a 25-year State Farm agent. My dad was a 47-year State Farm agent. My mom was a 30-year State Farm claims adjuster. So as she was on the catastrophe team. So as a kid, I grew up, I would go into my grandpa's office, my dad's office. They actually shared an office for a while. And then I would also travel around the country to the different catastrophes, to hurricanes, earthquakes, and different things. And just that's what drew me to insurance. I literally knew this is what I wanted to do since the age of 4. I was going to be an insurance agent because I truly saw just the power of what we do every day. We have such an important role. Seeing my mom walk into somebody's house that, the roof had blown off, or there was a flood, or the earthquake had destroyed their house, and literally hand them a check so that they had a roof over their head that night. Like, what better job could we ever have? What more of an impact can we have? And I know, a lot of times we forget that. We get into the habit, and, we're selling things, we're trying to close deals and close business. But at the end of the day, what we are doing is providing the opportunity for somebody who's had their worst day ever to be able to go through it unscathed and get back to being whole again and continue on with their life. That's what we do. We don't just sell things. And it's just such an important role that I think gets missed.
I think that's critical, Jeremy. And when you get that visual impression of what that looks like from a missing roof, the most fundamental human thing that we all take for granted, our physiological need to be indoors. We just can't make it outdoors. So to see that restored, the impression that must have made on you to really endear you to this business, probably has given you a massive selling advantage over agents that are, maybe I just want to get to the lowest price. Maybe I just want to cut whatever corners there are to get you to get a policy with me. And I really don't have that story to fall back on, but I firmly believe that stories sell more than price, features, or benefits. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that really resonates with my team. We have a very unique culture, and we've stayed true to exactly that, leading always with the customer. Goals are super high nowadays. We have to sell so many things that a lot of times it gets lost. We just focus on the sell. In my agency, top to bottom, whether people are working internet leads or they're cross-selling current customers, they are always having full conversations, leading with the customer. It's all about the right protection for customers. So had I not had that growing up, maybe I would just be that agent that all I care about is what we sell. To me, I would rather not sell somebody something if it's the wrong coverage than make a sale just for the sake of making a sale. We want to sell the right coverage every single time and do things the right way.
I love it. I love it. Kristin, I'm going to pivot to you. Kristin, I first met you when you came to the New York exclusive conference, probably 4 years ago now. Big shout out to Rob Zabia for inviting you and having you guys come here. What blew me away was when you took the stage and told your story of you not being second or third generation insurance person. As a matter of fact, you come from a non-insurance background, but your impact on Jeremy Agency and now thousands of agencies around the country, teaching us a different perspective about what we do, has been priceless. So tell your background story about how you came to work with Jeremy for those that are listening or watching that don't know your backstory.
Absolutely. Well, my background really is, I started my career, I always wanted to be in sales. And I remember actually when I was in my early 20s, my mom said, just, go be an administrative assistant. And I tried that and I was horrible at it and I hated it. And so right when I first got married, I quit my job immediately and went down the street and worked for a Nordstrom sale. And that was how somebody told me that I could get in the door. And then I found my way into working in a sales role at Nordstrom and worked there for several years. And I did that very intentionally to learn how to sell from a customer perspective, because that was really important to me. Probably what made me come over to working with Jeremy is just that philosophy that he just talked about. I really believe that customer service is sales and sales is customer service. You take care of people and all of the sales come. And then I took a little bit of time off because I had kids. I worked in financial services for a little while after Nordstrom, and then I had kids and took 9 years off and went back into the workforce, working for a company called MetLife Insurance. I'm sure a lot of people, and I worked in the financial services division. And so that ended up being where I started learning how to train people, because I at first just started off working in their marketing department, working on phones and setting appointments for a young financial planner. And people started coming over to me saying, "What are you doing?" And they ended up having me train all of the financial planners coming in on just how to make their phone calls. And I really had no idea what I was doing, other than I just wanted to help people and get home to my kids. And then that kind of just came full circle. And I really didn't want to be working for an insurance company. I'm just really honest. I wanted to really get deeper into training and development. And so I started working for a company called Dale Carnegie Training, where I feel like I just hit my calling. I knew that was what I was supposed to be doing. It was just life-changing to me to take the Dale Carnegie class, to go through their training to get certified as a trainer. And that's where I met Jeremy. He was sending some of his people, which is another really good tip: invest in your people. He invested in his people and sent them through the Dale Carnegie training. And then I did some one-on-one coaching with them, and just got to know Jeremy and his philosophy on business. He had growth goals, and I honestly did not want to go and work in an insurance company again. And he changed my mind, and I always say I walked over to the dark side and came over to the Olson agency, but it has been like a journey. I mean, I don't know what would have happened. This is my calling. Training and development is my calling. That's what I do.
I love it. And you've stretched from what you do inside of Jeremy's agency to across the country. So there's so much I want to ask about Dale Carnegie, author of probably my favorite book that I recommend to people all the time, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Hey, Ray, it's Kevin. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. You guys have been helping me out for a while with all the digital things you can do at Use Canopy. But some of my guys, they're still having a hard time adjusting to the digital age. Talk to the people, Ray, please.
Yes, sir. Well, Canopy Connect is the insurance data intake platform. Send a link out to your prospect. They, click on it, find their insurance carrier. We got 350 insurance carriers on there. Click that, sign in, and they can be done there. You can ask them a few more questions you want, but we're going to pull all that insurance information, give it to you right in a nice dashboard.
That sounds pretty quick. What are we talking? 2 or 3 minutes?
Less. You can do that in 30 seconds, man.
Wow. Nick, you're a big time marketing guy. What do you think?
I think Canopy Connect is one of those tools that everybody should have in their back pocket. Makes it easy to use. You can send it out in emails and text messages. You can use it in social media campaigns, X-Date campaigns. All of those methods will work with Canopy Connect.
Guys, I got to get back to the podcast, but you heard it right here. Use Canopy Connect. Go digital. Leave old school in the past. Nick and Ray, I'll catch you guys later. Easy.
Let's go. See ya.
I want to go a little bit further with you before I pivot back to Jeremy. Appointment setting in your prior role and then leading people right now. I tell people all the time, the hardest part of the job is not selling insurance, is getting people on the phone to agree to have an appointment, to have the conversation. Mm-hmm. What was the magic that you discovered then? And how does it help agents both in sales and service today?
Same thing, take care of the people and the appointments will come, but also you have to be very convicted that setting that appointment is going to change their life. And so I really every single person I talk to. First of all, I had read the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I put the first 9 principles on my laptop, just a little printout of it, be a good listener, make the other person feel important. Remember that a person's name is the sweetest sound they'll ever hear. Things like that show honest and sincere appreciation. I just thought those little principles would make a big difference in my conversations. So that was what I led with, is trying to just be a friendly person. And then when it came to setting the appointment, if it made sense, I, in my brain, would think like, this is going to change this person's life. And I would make up the story of how, like, this person is going to get to retire if I set this appointment. This person is going to, like, their grandkids are going to go to college if I set this appointment, just depending on the scenario. So I think I took it to a way higher level than most people do. I think that it's not setting an appointment, it's changing a life.
I love it. I love the thought that you put into it. I've told no less than hundreds of people about you, the impact you had on me there. And then here you go through it a few weeks ago in Texas. Those same 9 principles means the world to hear it. Let's go away from business for a second, Jeremy. I want you to both have a chance to shout out your wonderful family. Specifically, Jeremy, I'd like for you to tell me the TikTok story of your daughter and the wonderful video she put up that got so many views of catching dad by surprise.
Oh, Lily. Oh, she is a TikToker. Yeah, no, my daughter, I think it's up to like 7 million views or something. She thought it would be really funny if she ordered Uber Eats, which teenagers do just about every day now. So she ordered Uber Eats and she stood in the window so that while the delivery driver took his picture of her food on the porch, she was peering over the window. And she put that on TikTok, and it has about 7 million views. She has another one right now with just hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
I think she does about 15 TikToks every single day.
Outstanding. I had my son on earlier. We're speaking, we're talking about someone that did a presentation to a high school in Pennsylvania, but he did it in Gen A language, which means he used a lot of words that I don't know yet, so I can't repeat it, but it resonates. It resonated on TikTok. It has some incredible views. Incredible. Jeremy, sports. I've got my Knicks hats in front of me. I see you enjoying a lot of sporting events with your family, whether it's college or pro. What's the go-to game? What's the go-to team for the family?
Yeah, I would say between the Mariners and Seahawks, it's probably a tie. We've got tickets to both. We love going to both. For me, growing up, I played basketball since I was very early on. Played all the way through high school, and that was always my go-to sport. Now, I would say the family's go-to sport, though, has to be volleyball, because back to Lily, she has volleyball practice and games, seems like daily.
I love it. So when I think of your family and I hear about the rowdy 12th man at the Seahawks games, your family is absolutely a part of it.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't miss a Seahawks game.
I love it. Kristin, your family.
Are you sure you don't want to start with sports?
Please, let's
I
go
learned
there.
to walk when I was 1, and I still am walking. That's my sport. That's not very nice. I wasn't really good at sports, but I can do a few things.
I'm about that walking life, Kristin. I put in
it's good.
I put in 20 minutes
on
a treadmill this
I'm
morning.
not the one who's had like 2 shoulder surgeries and knee surgery. Like, I'm intact. Unlike someone who likes to do hardcore sports. But my kids are, definitely the pride and joy of my life. I have a almost 29-year-old son. Nice. He's a rocket engineer, actually lives in Huntsville, Alabama now. And nice. He works on engines for Blue Origin. And then my daughter, Sarah, is 26. She's getting married in August. So things are getting absolutely, like, every single weekend, something's happening with wedding planning and doing stuff for her wedding. And it's definitely like a magical time for us as a mother and daughter. It's just everything, that I could imagine. We've had so many just amazing bonding times with it. And then I do have to say, like, I have the cutest dog, ever.
I love it. I love it. We talk about rocket scientists, and you actually have one. So, Jeremy, I'm going to come back to sports, not basketball, though. I'm going to talk about scooters. You ride a scooter between first, when we were in Arizona, you were telling me the story pre-scooter days of, I think you had multiple locations, and you would drive between the locations during the day a couple of times a day. But that's been replaced with the scooter. So give the people a visual of you on the scooter with the helmet, and what kind of distance are you doing on the scooter?
Yeah, well, I luckily did move. I only live a couple miles away from this office, so it's a very quick commute. But I guess I could sum it up. It was funny. Was it last night or the night before? Kristin and I left. We were in the elevator. I had my scooter, my helmet on. And I said, what do you think of when you see me, 52-year-old guy scootering home every night? And she looked at me and said, eccentric. So
he is kind of eccentric.
But it is just something I love doing. I don't even know why I bought it. I get bored very easily when I'm sitting home at night. I might be thinking about what could I get? Just what kind of fun gadget could I get to do something with? And I picked a scooter. I moved, 2 miles away from work. I thought, what better way? No traffic, no parking. I can just scooter my way. So yeah, I bought this scooter a couple years ago. It goes 60 miles an hour. I take it to Seattle. I take it around Bellevue. I take it to my office. In fact, it's just right outside the door right now. I bring it up the elevator, and it's a whole lot of fun. I am definitely very safe on it. I wear a helmet, but yeah, it's pretty funny.
You go kind of fast sometimes.
The other day I was coming back. It also works out great. My mom is in memory care about a mile away, and not great parking there, so it works out great. I just bring the scooter over to that every single day. The ladies love it. But the other day I was coming back from that, and I got a text as I walked through the door back in my office from my wife, and I think it said, "No, you don't," or something like that, because I was riding in the street. It's actually allowed. You can do it as long as you keep up with traffic. But yeah, it's a fun hobby of mine. Any agent that's been out here usually gets a scooter ride. Chris Gardella is not the best scooter rider, but he did try it.
Kevin, I think you need to get a scooter sponsor.
No. I'm not a thrill seeker, but Kristin, just so I don't make any assumptions, what's that fun hobby, that one thing you do that people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know. A fun hobby that I do?
Yes.
I literally live like 4 blocks from the office, so I walk to the office every single day. But I honestly, I work so much. I don't know if I have a fun hobby. There's something that people don't know about me, though, is that I'm really good at baking. And I didn't put this in my bio, but I used to own a little pie business when I stayed home with my kids. And I think I make arguably the best pie out there. Best boysenberry pie you can get.
Well, someone's going to challenge you on that. Someone's going to DM you and ask for a boysenberry pie, and let them judge that for themselves. I love it. I love it. Please someone my way. Role Play with Olson Agency. Origin story. How did it come about?
Well, so I hired Kristin again, met her at Dale Carnegie. And the reason I hired her was, we had big goals back then, and that just continues, as many of us know. But that was one of the years we had tough goals. And I really wanted to just focus on people skills, getting my team better at talking to our prospects. And so I had been to a couple Dale Carnegie classes. I saw the impact that it could have. And so I brought Kristin on board. Her original title was team coach. That was going to be her role, just to coach my people how to get better at talking to their prospects. And I remember I got a lot of calls from corporate back then, my manager, people back at home office. You're that guy that hired a coach? What does this mean? And it's been everything. I mean, we were 10 years ago, we were 18 million, we're now 90. That is mainly because of how we talk to people, the efficiency of every conversation. It makes all the difference in the world. A lot of times agents focus on, product knowledge. We've got to know the ins and outs, and they forget the importance of connecting with people. And that's everything that Dale Carnegie is. But how RPOA started, it was probably Kristin's first week. She came, I always say, skipping through the door and super excited to meet with my team. And she looked at me and she said, hey, we should implement role play with your sales team.
Okay.
And I looked at her and I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Isn't that sweet?
He told me that in Arizona. I wasn't going to bring it up. I didn't have any dinger questions.
Yeah. And honestly, I said, my team wouldn't do that. I would be embarrassed to do it. We don't role play here. We just don't. We never had. And you can see how well that went over now that I host the role play show. But she insisted. I said, go ahead. You can do it with my team. We'll see how it goes. And it's been amazing. It is, I would say, in my 22 years at that point, probably the thing that I would say I'm most embarrassed about, that I didn't hold my team accountable to role play. It is no different than you playing in the NFL and showing up only on Sundays and saying, Coach, please put me in the game. I memorized all the plays, but I didn't show up for practice. It doesn't work. You have to practice. So with my team, I would say, because we role play so much, our individual production has quadrupled since we implemented role play. We do it every single day. It's just a part of our culture. And so, I saw the impact that it had on my own team. I've always been a guy, I love to share. I love to talk to a lot of agents, our friends of mine around the country. And so I said, we ought to start a company that does this. This was 6 years ago. And we do it every Tuesday as a live show. We do role play with a different topic. And it's been a fun journey, but definitely the reason it was born is because of the impact that it had on our own team.
I love it. Kristin, how was it for you when you first began, new job, new agency, and you're asking people to do something they never did before? Generally speaking, people are a little change adverse. How did that go over at first? And how did you turn it around?
It did not go over well at first. And I started to learn that everybody doesn't like to empower the change of like asking them to role play, but probably because of like past history or just not, feeling insecure, all those things. So I understood that. But when I started making these changes, we lost half of our team to begin with. I'm like, was it me? But the funny thing is that our numbers didn't change. The people that stayed really started to lift. And the ones that shouldn't have been here left because they didn't want that change. They wanted to do everything their way. And you don't want those types of team members in your environment if you're looking to grow. I think the biggest thing that I brought into the role play is a coaching methodology that I learned at Dale Carnegie called in the moment coaching. That helped empower people and see that it was a safe place to think tank stuff and be more creative with the way that we were talking. And I wanted to solicit their input too. And it just ended up being really collaborative. And I think once people started seeing results and seeing like the numbers lift higher and higher to levels where they had never seen before, it had everybody start to dive in and follow. Any new team members that we got, we would train them. We started having scripts for them and we would train them in a certain way. And we just started seeing our umbrella production went through the roof. I think the first year it went up 68% just from implementing role play and implementing a certain process that we wanted them to say. But I think that everything was done my approach is always like confidence building, not breaking people down, not saying they're doing something wrong, building on what they have existing and just continuing to get 1% more effective. I don't even say better. I like the words like effective, stronger, more focused, anything that is more results driven. That's what I'm looking for when we're talking about getting better. To me, like better means that you weren't good to begin with. And so that's why I just don't really like to use those words.
No, I love that a lot. I took just a ton of notes while you were saying, and I love the philosophy that it's in the moment training, something that you can apply right away. So Kristin, I want to stay with you for a second. I'm talking to a lot of agents I coach with, friends around the country. A lot of people are looking for a sales manager or a sales coach. and they're struggling because they're either promoting people within that may not have your background or your coaching experience. And then when they've tried to bring in outsiders, it's been a struggle because they haven't had that experience of doing the work day to day. What would you say to people that are looking for a team coach or a sales manager, an office manager in their agency? What would you say that they should be looking for in that person?
Well, I can tell you, like when Jeremy asked me to work for him, I said, I'm not qualified. Like, I'm not the one. And he's like, yes, you are the one. So first of all, I'd look for someone that believed in you, and saw your ability. I think he could see the strengths in me and, my passion for helping people. So I would definitely look for someone that has a passion for helping people. And has a specific skill set. I think for when Jeremy saw me, I'm definitely a people person, and I'm someone that will do anything to help someone feel like better about themselves, feel more effective. I just won't stop on that. Like self-improvement is just everything to me. So I think that was something that really appealed to him. The other thing that, I notice in just working with agencies across the country is that a lot of times you have to, if you need someone now, sometimes you're not going to get the perfect person. So you can't be looking for like, I have to have that perfect person or I'm not going to do it. We've had people that have come and gone in some of our manager roles, and they served a purpose at the time that we hired them and for the level we were at. And as we've grown, we needed something different. And so it just evolves. So you have to be willing to evolve and not have it be perfect to start with. But I think that you need to still look for those qualities in those individuals that will lift you up as a manager and an owner, and that you're going to be able, like for me, I'm his vision keeper. That's what I always say is I keep the vision of Jeremy Olson and make sure that everybody's like working on what he wants to work in the business. That's really important. And so having that synergy is super important, and not hiring somebody that has a totally different agenda than you do. I've learned everything about the insurance industry from Jeremy's friends, from our team members, we all kind of complement each other. And my skill set is really like people management. And then I would say I can lift any salesperson out there that wants to be coached.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Dino, if you have a second, can you just touch the screen? I see a Google update. I'm not able to see Jeremy and Kristin's right now. I'm looking at a Google update. If you can hear me. Okay. So Jeremy, back to you for a second. I love the fact that you observed that your people needed self-improvement. When I think of businesses, our business, any industry, I think there are three parts to every business. There's people, there's the products we sell or service, and there's processes. In our world, we sell the products that are offered in our state. We don't get a chance to develop or introduce new products. There's a few nuances in processes, but ultimately it comes down to people. What was it that resonated with you, that the big pivot, the big change you wanted to make in your agency was around people? Because most of our friends, most of our peers think that if the price would get right, they would do significantly better. What was it that shifted your mind that said, if we're going to change, if we're going to grow, if we're going to 5X, we've got to focus on the people, not the price, the product?
Yeah, I think couple things. The goals I touched on earlier, I knew I needed to shift. I knew I needed to write bigger, better numbers if I was going to succeed in the world 10 years ago. But I think it was also a big part of it was, quite frankly, I was getting worn out from wanting it more than the employees of 10 years ago did. And I hear that so often from agency owners that, man, I just spend all day trying to convince people to do this. I try to teach them. Doesn't seem like they want it. And that's where I was at. I would say 10 years ago, my average producer probably wrote 10 to 15 items a month. Wow. We are now 50 plus because of the coaching training and because we invest in the right people. I'm a big believer in hire, kind of back to Kristin, why I brought her on board, managers, how you look for sales managers and trainers. My own perspective on that is that I hire people, not their resumes, not their numbers. I hire people that are quality people. One thing I do after every single interview, whether it's with a producer, whether it's with management level, first question I ask myself, would I hang out with this person after hours? And if my answer is no, they're out. I want people that I will connect with, that are like us. Every one of my managers on my team is, first of all, just great people. They're very loyal. They're great characters. They do the right things. That's what I'm trying to hire for in my producers and my managers. One thing that I would say is very unique in the way that I employ my managers, and including Kristin, my operations manager, and 2 sales managers, 100% of them are paid flat salary. And that's very different from what I hear around the country where, you've got to meet this goal to get this. I just start with, I've got the right person. I know they're going to do the right thing. They know I'm going to take care of them. But I like to keep things super, super simple. And so that's always been my philosophy when it comes to having management on my team. I want people that are just running as hard as I am at all times. They know they'll be rewarded, but I don't have to have a super complicated comp plan to get there.
I love it. We want simplicity, but we don't always give that away. And then we wonder why people are having a hard time. I love it. I love it. I love it. You dropped a lot of jewels there. You both did. 2 things I took away: people first, and just the nonstop focus on people development. You can't go wrong when you help people become the best version of themselves. A couple of things as we start to wind down. First, Jeremy, with you, then we'll come back to Kristin. Jeremy, what's your morning routine? And then how do you wind down at the end of the day?
Oh, man. Morning routine. I wake up probably 5 o'clock, go upstairs. My wife will tell you she gets sick of me waking up so early and waking up the dog and her. 5 o'clock, I go up, I ride the Peloton for 20, 30 minutes, watch the news, sit down on the couch as I wind down, part of the pun, cool down, and I do my numbers for the day. I put them, open my computer, look at what issued last night, get those ready for the morning meeting. Then I shower, jump on my scooter, probably about 5:45, 6 o'clock. I'm here by 6 or 6:15, and doing numbers, getting ready for the team meeting, sending out a bunch of emails to customers. The SAVE program, big believer in doing that. I've taken that on myself. And then I'm here the majority of the day, probably leave about 5 o'clock, go home, currently taking, Lily's made the headlines.
She really has.
It's like huge time. I do have another daughter, Kaya, son, Jeremy, wife, Kelly. But Lily is 15 right now, just got her permit. So my evenings now are being terrified because we're in the first week of her driving and we're taking her out on drives around town, which is super fun. Then we'll just watch, the Mariners game, or right now basketball game, and cleaning up emails still. And then we go to bed, and that's it.
But Kristin, we're going to come to you, but Jeremy, I cannot skip past one part of your routine. You said that you've taken on the Customer Save program yourself. So agents around the country listening to this, thinking of an agency your size, I look at my numbers. I know how many customers are there. When you say you take it on yourself, you're looking at those customers and interacting with yourselves, or interacting and then advising your team on how to approach it?
Yeah, no, I do it myself. So first of all, this program came out, I don't know if it was 10 or 15 years ago. Allstate dabbled in it. I loved it then. I love it now. To me, retention is everything. If we have the company being willing to invest in actually telling us who is shopping their insurance, I mean, how better way to protect your retention. So when that came out a month or two ago, I was like, I'm in. I know I have a lot on my plate, but I want to take this. Every morning, I don't know, there's probably 10 to 15 names on there. And if it's a super busy morning, like if we have a show or something super busy, I have an e-agent template that I can clear them pretty quickly. But the majority of days, I'm actually spending time on those 10 to 15. I pull up their portfolios and I look for things that they might not know they have. Things like guaranteed renewal, accident forgiveness, deductible rewards, things that maybe we don't offer any longer in older products. And I send them a personalized email. I don't call out the fact that I know they're shopping. I just, send them a nice email that says, I was thinking of you. Your renewal's coming up. One thing I noticed, you're in an amazing product, blah, blah, blah. We appreciate you. And I sign it me and send them off. So that probably takes me an hour a morning. But boy, the response that I get on those, it's absolutely making a difference.
Amazing. I probably should say that with an H in it. Amazing. That's really impactful and surprising of an age your size that you're still that hands-on involved and you're getting that done first thing in the morning. Very, very impressive. Kristin, to you, what's your morning routine and how do you wind down at the end of the day?
Oh gosh. Well, I also get up early, but it takes me longer to get ready because I cannot get out the door by 6 o'clock like Jeremy. But I wake up around 5:15. A lot of times I'll do yoga just to start the day. But I enjoy getting ready and taking my time. I'm usually to work by around 7. I walk my dog. Like if I'm not taking her to work, she makes an appearance here probably 2 to 3 days a week. So she's part of the office family at this point, which is really fun. And then the reason why I get in early, I like to also take my time getting ready for the day, the work day. So just like when I'm getting ready in the morning and I just don't like to be rushed in the morning. When I come in, Jeremy's already here and he is on his computer doing all of his save emails now. But then we talk about the day. It's a great time for us just to, talk about what's on our mind with the business, what our plan is for the day. Cause a lot of times we're dividing and conquering. And then people start rolling in around 8 o'clock. And then that's just showtime as soon as they're in. But I've got a team meeting that I run at 8:30 many mornings of the week. I would say almost all of them. I've got some sort of meeting I'm running except for Thursdays. And so I'm just prepping for that. And then the day's just, it's craziness. The whole day it's meeting after meeting and coaching team members and business strategy. And usually leave around, I would say around 5:30 or 5 o'clock. And then I really I need the decompressing time. I can't be on all the time. So when I get home, I live in a place that's it's really close to everything. I live in the middle of the city. And so I might, if it's a beautiful day, might take a walk. I love enjoying the view, having literally a glass of wine and just gelling. But sometimes I like to watch like a mini series, or sometimes I like to watch nothing. And I'm also very particular about having everything in its place and clean and neat, because I feel like if I'm looking at something beautiful all the time, including like the neatness of my environment, that's really important to me. That helps me wind down as well. And I go to bed my goal is always 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock would be late.
Nice. Sleeping right through the night.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Kristin first and Jeremy, anything else at all that you'd like to share with anyone? Anything you're working on? Anything exciting coming out of RPOA that's coming up that people should know about?
Well, we can just say we have something exciting coming up with RPOA that I think will really help people onboard new team members and role play more. But that's exciting, right?
That's exciting.
Yeah, probably in about a month. We're trying to figure out right now how to roll that out, but I think the exciting thing for us, to me, what's exciting that's going on is it's absolutely crazy busy right now in the agency. And we are hiring at a really rapid pace. And we're hiring some amazing people right now. We have 2 people in-house that are helping us with hiring. And it's insane. How many people did we hire so far this month? In May, I think we've hired like nine people. And we're getting them all in. So the agency itself is extremely busy with everything that's going on, but it feels like one of those times that it's a very exciting time. We have some very specific goals, and it's exciting because I know we're going to hit them. And I think there's a lot of years in insurance where you're given goals that you can't hit, or you don't have the capacity, or whatever it is. Like when you have a shot at it and when you don't. And we're just putting it all out there this year, and it's very different the way we're putting it out there. It's massive growth pretty fast, but I feel like having the infrastructure that we have now with the systems and processes and just everything kind of like locked down that way, that it really makes it possible. So it's to me just a very, very exciting time, and a story I think that we'll be able to tell next year that will have a lot of value for others.
I love it. Jeremy, I'm going to change the question for you. This is the time you're in touch with more agents than I am, as many, definitely more agents than I am. And it's May, and some of our good friends are having a hard time this year. I would love for you to speak to agents and just give an encouraging word. If people are feeling stuck, maybe they're off to a slow start and they're trying to get out of their own way to turn their heads around. If you can close us with an encouraging word, I think that would be great.
Yeah, no, and like Kristin said, we're in the same boat, very challenging goals. Hopefully the fact that I'm all in, I'm hiring, 35 by the end of the year shows my belief in our industry and our carrier. I am 100% bought in. Before you change the question, I think this will actually apply. What I was going to share as a last piece was just never forgetting that this is a long game. This is not profit. You must profit today in the first 6 months of a policy. I used to go speak when we had a regional office out here in Bothell to new agents. And somebody would always raise their hand at the end and say, Jeremy, one last tip. What's your best possible tip that you could give us so that we can be successful? And I think they were always thinking I was going to give them some magic lead vendor that nobody else knew about, or some amazing closing technique. And I never gave them anything like that. What I told them was my best tip for anybody in this classroom today would be to get in your car, drive to the nearest bank, and take out the biggest line of credit you possibly can, because this business is about investing. And that is what so many people miss. And what I've really tried to stay true to in understanding what being an insurance agent really is, to me, it's no different than if I said, Kristin, put a $20 bill in this cup. Every 6 months, you can walk back to this cup and pull out $5. Would you do that? And the answer would be yes. And that's what insurance is. I invest a whole lot of money in leads, a whole lot of money in payroll, a whole lot of money in nice offices, a whole lot of money in different marketing. The reason I do it is, and yes, goals are changing, comp percentages are changing, but what's not changing is our ability to make a great living here at Allstate and in the insurance industry. If you had told me we'd be going through the things that we're going through right now 10 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. But we are absolutely finding a way to do it. I have no doubt 2025 is going to close out strong. We're not at our goals yet. We're fighting, we're scrapping, we're clawing every day right alongside everybody else watching this, but we'll get there because we're putting in the work to get there, to hire, to invest, to learn how to grow in this new era. But we have a plan. I personally believe those that have a plan, those that execute it, will be very, very successful in insurance for many years to come.
Outstanding. Very, very inspirational. Absolutely awesome. I thank you both for taking time out of your busy day at the end of the day with all that you both had going on today. We are all better because you took the time to do it. So thank you very much. I'm going to ask all of our guests, thank you for tuning in today, watching us, whether you watched us on live stream, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whether you're watching it on a later date or listening to it on your favorite podcast platform, thank you. For those of you that would like to receive advanced notification when this awesome content is on every platform out there, please click the subscribe in the notification button so it can come to you right away. Again, thank you to my sponsors. You see them flashing on the screen behind me. Carol Media, Canopy Connect, Wintrust Financial. Couldn't do it without them. Couldn't do it without you. Let's close out with giving a warm Wine Down with Kev thank you to our amazing guests today, Jeremy Olson and Kristin Kasel.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kevin, for having us on.
Thank you. Fantastic.